Turning now to a breaking weather news alert. Idalia has made landfall in Florida as a Category 3 hurricane. This as we take a live look here at the interstate in Tampa, Florida. Again, Idalia taking aim at the Big Bend region with potentially catastrophic storm surge. The National Weather Service calling Idalia, quote, an unprecedented event. That's because there really have been no major hurricanes to ever pass through the Big Bend region. Florida residents there were told to evacuate. Governor Ron DeSantis providing an update earlier this morning.
The National Hurricane Center expects storm surge to reach up to 16 feet in some areas of the Big Bend region. That level of storm surge is life-threatening. We have already had 11 tornado warnings, and there are more tornadoes possible. Do not go outside in the midst of this storm. If it's calm where you are, it may be because you are in the eye of the storm, and those conditions will change very, very quickly.
So right now, many school districts obviously are closed today along the Gulf Coast. Two of the region's largest airports stopping commercial operations as well. So if you're traveling, obviously you've noticed that. Thousands of utility workers preparing to quickly make repairs to electrical wires. I think we're just getting word now that as of right now, and this is going to change, but as of right now, more than 200,000 customers are without electricity at this moment here. We also know 5,500 National Guard troops are activated there. So again, a major response. They've acted early on this, but sustained winds making landfall at 125 miles per hour, by the way. It's a storm surge that is the concern, and that could only get worse by the day.
The rain also expected to drench southern Georgia and the Carolinas as well. So that is the direction the storm is headed. For the very latest, we wanted to turn now to storm chaser Logan Parham. He's live for us in Crystal River, again, where officials are warning Idalia could devastate the area. Logan, again, joining us. A little bit of a shaky signal, but I think we've got you. Can you tell us what you're seeing right now?
Yes, I'm actually in Perry, Florida right now, and we just went through some absolutely terrible winds in the high wall. We're still trying to fight it right now. We got really in a kind of got a little bit pinned down at the Walmart, and we actually there's a gas leak over there at the Walmart. There's roofs off everywhere, trees down, power lines. It's definitely official disaster zone, so it's looking very rough down here.
How does this compare to other storms, Logan, that you have tracked before, or does this not compare?
So I was in Ian last year, and this is a totally different breed when it comes to the storm and the really intense core winds. I believe this made landfall with lower pressure than Ian. So the winds were brief but extremely intense, and yeah, this storm is unlike any other so far. So a very historic storm here.
Of course, also worried about flooding and the devastation that could bring. How are the roads, Logan, from what you've seen?
A lot of them are going underwater right now. I believe it's mostly from rain. I'm not 100% about the storm surge, but yeah, it's a very rough scene down here in Perry.
And have you seen anyone on the roadways? Does it appear that citizens are listening to emergency officials, staying off the roadways, staying indoors? What's your assessment of that?
Yeah, I think for the most part, everyone learned their lesson with Ian last year. And I believe that from what I have seen, that most people stayed off the roads. Everyone was inside. I didn't really see anybody out and about. So that was a really good thing, but looking very rough for this area nonetheless.
Well, again, stay safe. We know you're in your vehicle. He's a storm chaser, so be safe as much as you possibly can. Again, storm surge happening even worse a little bit later in the day, as you know. So just watch out for that. Logan Parham, good to see you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. I want to bring in now correspondent Bob Brooks. He's live in our New York newsroom. He's also tracking the very latest on Hurricane Idalia. Bob.
Yeah, Sean, Emma, Hurricane Idalia officially has made landfall near Keaton Beach. The storm surge alone in some areas, officials expected could get up to 12 to 16 feet around Florida's Big Bend area. That, again, is where the Panhandle connects with the peninsula, and that's where that storm is making landfall. Now, we're already seeing some videos come out of that area that show catastrophic damage. What you're seeing right now here, it's going to pop up on the screen, is from the St. Petersburg Police Department. Don't have that. There it is. Right now, you can see that storm surge already several feet high and life-threatening. The police there actually report this morning that they've had to rescue one person. We know there was mandatory evacuations. Unfortunately, there are some people that did not heed the warnings and evacuate. You can't make everybody go. And another look here. This is a massive parking lot. Again, on St. Petersburg, inundated with water. It's only going to get worse as the storm continues to move in closer. It continues to rise. The police there in St. Petersburg say bridges are closed. So for now, at times, rescue personnel, they're not going to have access to the people, again, that did not leave. And then this is another location at Madera Beach in Pinellas County. That's from the sheriff's office. They're starting to close down streets there. And according to the National Weather Service, we've said this before, but in some parts of Florida, like Big Bend, like Tallahassee, it's an unprecedented event. No major storms on record have passed through there. So that's why Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is saying everyone heed warning. He also says it's not just the hurricane and the storm surge, though, that's going to prove to be dangerous. It generates other offshoot tornadoes. Let's listen.
We have already had 11 tornado warnings, and there are more tornadoes possible. Even and especially in the very outer bands of the storm. So these are places that are way outside the cone that you see on the TV screen. So please keep in mind those are very, very dangerous situations. When the storm passes, do not drive in flooded streets and assume that all down power lines are still hot and live.
Okay, Sean and Emma, again, this event is just getting started, and the governor says more than 30,000 utility workers, they're on standby. The Florida National Guard is fully activated. 5,500 guardsmen are in position, but right now we know it is about riding out this storm. Hopefully everyone stays safe. And we're waiting for it to pass here this morning. Sean, Emma, back to you.
All right, Bob Brooks, thank you very much. Again, it's just the video that's so surprising to see the devastating flooding. Again, this is, I believe, the interstate in Tampa. As we take a live look here, Sean, and as you know, you've covered hurricanes before. It's really concerned about that storm surge throughout the day. Yeah,
so these northbound lanes, by the way, it may look like not much to you at this moment. It is. If you're seeing this cresting with the water like that coming on to those again, there's eastbound lanes there. This was completely underwater, I would say, about an hour ago, the entire northbound lane that you're seeing there on your screen. Now, what's interesting about this storm, and many are saying this, it's a hurricane, yes. It made landfall as a Cat 3, yes. Sustained winds, 125 miles per hour, downgrading to a Cat 2 at this point, I believe, moving through the land. But the reason why it's different is because of the storm surge and what's being tied to what is called a king tide, which means what you're seeing is the tide rising higher than it typically does right at the very same time that the storm surge, which means the level of water, is going to continue to rise. Some reports saying that in low-lying areas, it could get as high as 15 feet. Obviously not survivable, so you want to, again, heed those warnings. A lot of people have evacuated. They have listened, and as some were pointing out, many have heeded the warnings that they have seen from Hurricane Ian that hit the southwest Florida coast not too long ago. You see how massive that storm is, by the way, in the bottom right of your screen there. I mean, this is a big one here, and when you do hit land, it will break it apart a little bit. But Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, you are still not out of the woods yet. So again, we'll continue to have the very latest on that right here on National Report.
All right.